Trump wants to ban institutional investors from purchasing single family homes. Man, what a year so far. Welcome back to the channel, Matt Garland, in MLS number 58700, but I'm better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. And this is the first live stream of the year for me here at Rants and Gems. And what a way to start the year. President Donald Trump is back at it. Let's get right to this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna share my screen. He was on Truth Social earlier today, and he wants to make some major changes. Why I bring this up? If this is your first time here, type first time in the chat. Hit the bell for notifications because you never know when I'm going to go live. All right. So let's check this out. What the president tweet. I ain't gonna call it tweeted, but what he posted today, January 7th, 2026 at 12:45 p.m. He said for a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered a pinnacle of the American dream, right? It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, because of record high inflation caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats in Congress, that American dream is increasingly out of reach for far too many people, especially younger Americans. Let's, yo, first of all, I want to stop it right there. First of all, the American dream has been flawed for years. I'm talking to you as somebody who's been in this business for 22, almost 23. I think this is year 23. What year is this? 2006? Yeah, this is year 23 of me being in this business. And way before Joe Biden and the Democrats, the American dream has been flawed and it's been unaffordable for many. But I do agree over the past probably 7 years, not just Joe Biden, but even when Trump was in office the first time, a lot of young people, home ownership was out of reach for, right? So it is for that reason, Trump goes on to say, and much more, that I am immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single family homes, and I would be calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. I will discuss this topic, including further housing and affordability proposals and more at my speech in Davos in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks. I cannot look. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for when Trump starts talking in 2 weeks at Davos, man. I am looking forward to hearing what he has to say. I don't know how the hell he's going to get this done. Um, Look, let's call a spade, right? First of all, before I even move forward, do you agree or disagree with Trump with this? Do you think this administration should ban large institutions from buying single family homes? Type ban in chat if you agree, or type agree or disagree in chat. Type agree or disagree in chat. I want to hear your thoughts, right? Type agree or disagree in chat. Now, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. Large corporations definitely do own a lot of real estate, investment properties, especially single family properties. But it might not be as much as most of you probably think, right? Large institutions own, and when I say institutional investors, I'm talking about the investors, the institutions that own 1,000 units or more, right? 1,000 units or more. That is pretty much like a large institution, right? So the typical thresholds, just for you don't know, for those of you who know, before I get into these numbers, right? Some folks would consider 100+ homes often is considered institutional, but 1,000+ is really the benchmark, right? So it just depends on some studies will say 50, 100, 500, 1,000. But for this intents and purposes, I'm thinking he's speaking more on 1,000 plus units. And that's what makes this interesting, right? That's what makes this even more interesting and more is because what are they defining as institutional investors? That's first thing foremost, because I know just regular everyday folks that own hundreds of units. Are they considered institutional as well? Are they considered institutional as well? That's my thought, right? So that's why, this is not law right now. This is just something that he's he put on True Social. Okay. I- Investors own about 20% of investment properties nationwide. But in fact, institutional investors, institutional investors own 1 to 4% of single family homes nationwide. So when you hear this, right? When you hear you want to ban institutional investors from buying more single family homes, in retrospect, they own a very small percentage, a very small percentage of these homes. Majority of single family investment properties is small investors, not Wall Street giant institutional players. So I want to be very clear on that. Out of the 20% of single family homes that are owned, investment properties that are owned by investors, only about 1 to 4% of that is institutional investors with over 1,000 plus homes. Did y'all know that? Because when you see the news and you see everything like that that's out there, it makes it seem like the institutional investors are buying everything. Now, in certain areas, and we're going to get to these areas in a second, right? We're going to get to these areas in a second. In certain areas, it's definitely highly populated with investor institutional money, right? But if you look at the United States of America as a whole, institutional investors only own about 1 to 4% of these properties. And mom and pops is us, guys. We're mom and pops. We own the remaining balance of that. Mom and pop investors, roughly about 85 to 90% of investor owned homes, are small investors who own 1 to 5 properties. These are everyday people like us. Duplex, small rental portfolio, single family rentals. These are us. So, again, I'm curious to know what is going to be their definition of institutional investors and what does that really look like, right? Now, how is this going to impact you? Now, before I even get there, let me not even get there. Let me not jump around, right? Again, this is just a post. This is not a law. It will be interesting to see how if Congress is going to make this law, what are going to be the guidelines behind this? How are they going to police this? Me personally, if I was running an institutional firm, I'm going to find a workaround and I'm still going to buy property. I don't think this is going to stop anything, me personally. This is just me personally. You can agree or disagree with that. I don't care what law they put in place, what happens. The big boys are always going to get to the money. and they're going to find workarounds and loopholes. They're going to have shell companies for shell companies. There is going to be, where there's a will, there is going to be a way. That's just me personally, right? So these headlines makes it seem like Wall Street is taking over the housing market. And like I said, in some areas, that could be true, right? In some areas, that can be true, right? So here are the top. Let me stop sharing real quick. So let me tell you guys, here are the top institutional investor cities, right? With the highest percentage of ownership. Atlanta, Georgia is coming in at number one, with institutional investors own 25% of the single family homes. Jacksonville, Florida is coming in at number two, with 21%. Charlotte, North Carolina at 18%. Tampa, Florida coming in at 15%, right? You have like all of these top spots right here, these top four spots where they are buying, but you can't forget the Arizonas, the Nevadas, Texas, right? The whole state of Georgia, not just Atlanta, but the whole state of Georgia. You got Memphis, you got Baltimore, you got St. Louis, you got Kansas City. These are all the spots where institutional money is going. They aren't everywhere. They're not buying everywhere nationwide, but it is a concentrated theme of where they invest. The purchase activity is so high in these states. So if you are, and look, if I'm capping on this right now, type in chat if I'm capping about these cities. If you're a realtor, investor in these areas that I just mentioned, the city of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Charlotte, Tampa. But if you service the state of Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, California, Texas, if you're in cities like Memphis, Baltimore, St. Louis, Kansas City, type in chat. Let us know your thoughts. If you're a real estate professional, let us know your thoughts in chat. Is this accurate information that I'm telling you right now? Is this accurate information that I'm telling you about your area right now? Right? So the institutional money, again, is not, they're not investing everywhere nationwide. They're not buying up everything like the news makes it seems like. The institutional money, they own 1 to 4%. But you have some big players that will be impacted by this. Again, if this goes into law and they really do try to ban this, and honestly, and I'm gonna keep it real, most of these big institutions have a lot of political pull. I don't know how the hell they plan on doing this, right? If we just look at the stock market today, right? If we look at the stock market today, after Trump put that out this afternoon, if you look at the stock at like American Homes for Rent, they closed today down 4%, almost 4.5% down today, right? Invitation Homes, they closed, their stock closed down today 6%, down 6% today, right? Blackstone, I know y'all love to hate Blackstone. They're down 5.5% today after Trump came out. They took a huge dip right after that came out. A huge dip, right? They rebounded, but they took a huge dip once that happened. Humongous, huge, as Trump would say, right? I wonder how, when you look at these big corporations and you look at the money that they put in, with campaigns and things of that nature, they're not going to be happy about this. They're going to lose money. I don't see how something like this can pass when the government is controlled by money. So again, this is just my thoughts, my opinions. I don't know what you think in the comments, but this is what I think, MG. Um, I don't see how the hell they're going to pass this. And if this is any indication, because the markets is pricing the fear of this is like fear, like the risk of this happening. You see what happened with these big institutional investor stock today. Blackstone, I mean, like I said, took a huge dip today. As soon as that post hit, right? They got thousands of rentals. So I don't know, guys. I don't know how Trump proposes to do this. I don't know how he's going to get this passed through Congress. If this does happen, do I think this is going to help you buy a house? Probably not. Me personally, probably not, because some of you are just stuck and not prepared to execute, right? Um, and if you are prepared to execute, while the big corporations are doing their workarounds and trying to figure it out, the folks out here that are moving and shaking and have capital, credit, and capacity and know how to get things funded, yeah, I think those folks will be able to take advantage until the big corporations figure out how to work around it in a legal way. But the everyday person is not going to really take about this. What about home prices? Nikki says. What about home prices? Uh, what about home prices? Right. So let's think about it. It's a very good question. So the notion that everybody thinks is, oh, I can't buy a house because all the big institution Wall Street money is buying homes, right? So now, if you take the Wall Street players out of the marketplace, then that opens what for the everyday home buyer now to go out here and buy a single family home. So what that's going to do, in my opinion, that's going to create more demand, and that's going to bring more home buyers off the fence because they know they don't have to compete with the Blackstones of the world and the Invitation Homes and this, that, and the third. So I think personally, I don't think this is going to bring down home prices. Me personally, I don't see it bringing down home prices, Nikki. I see this bringing more competition, um, and more buyer demand into the fold because they know they don't have to compete with the institutional investor. Like, yo, during, over the past couple years, I can't tell you, especially in like Atlanta and things like that. I can't tell you how many buyers that we've pre-approved that just gave up on buying a house because they were just so frustrated with being outbidded by these institutional investors. Because again, a lot of these folks are buying shit sight unseen, way above asking price. So yeah, I think it's going to bring more people back into the market, but I don't think it's going to, bring home prices down to a significant level. Now, but good question. Good question, Nikki. Yeah, exactly. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. Simple. But what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is going to bring home prices down? Do you think this is going to make homes more affordable? Do you think this is going to, if this does come true and Trump does ban institutional investors from buying thousands of single families at a time, do you think that this is going to help the everyday American realize the American dream of home ownership? All right. I think it get definitely, and I agree with that, Denise. I think it does give some space to first time home buyers. Yes. I think it does give some opportunities for home buyers to get in on the market, especially like in a city like Atlanta, Georgia, right, where 25% of the single families are being purchased by institutional investors. Absolutely. And those markets that I mentioned earlier, and if you missed that earlier, what did I say? I said Atlanta, Georgia, right? Atlanta, Georgia is one of them. Where's my list to go? Let me grab my list for those of you who have missed it. Type it in chat while I try to find my list. Where the hell did I put that? But it was like Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte is up there, Jacksonville is up there. Like you have all of these places where it's just overwhelming with institutional money, especially like Atlanta, Georgia. Like it's crazy. Tampa, Florida, you know, yeah, when you have over 15% of the single families being purchased by investors, yeah, that's a nice chunk of market share that they take in. So in those cities, absolutely, it definitely will make a difference for those folks and help those buyers. Memphis, Nevada. Yep. Yep. Nikki, you on it today. I love that. All right. So yeah, I think it could. I think it could. Yeah. Type the list in chat, man. Type the top four cities that I put in chat right now, just for everybody can have those cities. Atlanta, Georgia, 25%. Jacksonville, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, Tampa, Florida. Anywhere from 15 to 25% investors are buying all of the single family. So it definitely makes it definitely will help in those cities, the Sun Belt area where investors are definitely doing it. But I don't me personally, again, this is Trump, in my opinion, just doing what Trump does. Going out there, just having Twitter fingers and basically just throwing shit out there. I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I mean, they've been flowing when it comes to housing affordability. And look, we got to pay attention, right? We got to pay attention to everything that's happening, right? What happened today? We got the ICE shooting, right? We got Venezuela that's hot. We got all these different things that's hot. And if you look at his social account, he's just been Twitter fingers all day, right? Like now you throw out the housing affordability is something else now you can talk about, right? This guy just loves the headlines and loves being in the news and he stays viral. You can't like it is what it is. But when it comes to affordability, this is a big thing in America right now. People are stressed out, people are struggling. But in all honesty, forget banning these institutional investors, man. Fucking figure out these property taxes. To me, that is the biggest thing, right? Let me I gotta switch topics right now because you know, I don't look, what's this? The 22, 23 mark. I'm switching topics. If you want to figure out something, let me cover this because I don't want y'all to see my address and everything. Right? Is my address on there? Look, man, because I know some of y'all like to screenshot and zoom in and shit like that. But let me tell y'all, man, this right here is what they need to fix. Goddamn property taxes. This shit is ridiculous. Let me tell you, I am frustrated and pissed the hell off with these towns. There needs to be some law behind these property taxes because look, it's just this is kind of like becoming like one of the biggest scams in American history, right? All the damn taxes that we have to pay. But these property taxes is really what needs to be changed. If you want to make things affordable for Americans, fix this shit. Let me cover my address. Fix this shit, right? So let me tell y'all. We talking home ownership and everything like that. And look, y'all need to start paying it. Look, how many of you pay your mortgage in your escrow? Which in you pay your escrow in your mortgage. Excuse me. How many of you pay your escrow in your mortgage payment? Type escrow in chat if you do. Right? And it is a distraction, Ron. 100% a distraction. How many of you pay your taxes in your mortgage payment? Because type it in chat. Because let me tell you what is the biggest scam in the world is these damn property taxes. And I know that's something that's by the county and everything like that, but we need some federal intervention with this because these towns and these counties are losing their fucking mind. Let me tell you something. Everybody who is typing escrow in the chat right now, you need to check your mail. Don't wait for you get that escrow analysis from the bank. You need to look in the mail. It comes in a bullshit envelope that looks like junk mail. What's this damn envelope? It comes in a bullshit envelope. You can't see it because the light, right? Look, you see that? Important. Open, what does it say? Open at once. Tax statement and close. Right? You need to be paying attention when you get mail like this. Okay? You need to pay attention. It don't look like nothing. It's easy to kind of rip up when you're going through, you get all those stupid coupon books and crap. It looks like, oh, this is junk. Rip, right? Let me tell you, I looked at this thing the other day and I said to myself, let me look through this escrow bill. And mind you, they send you like pages of foolishness, right? But the most important was this page. And I'm looking at this and I said, okay, let me see what they are assessing the property value for my house, because that's what the taxes are based on. They're coming back with a full value of my property at $1.55 million. I said, wait a minute, hold up. $1.55 million. I said, mind you, this is not, because I know that my home has not been, I don't have the CO yet, which I'll have that at some point this year for my new construction. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. The town is assessing my house at the old house, and they're saying that the old house before I tore it down is worth $1.55 million. I said, that's interesting. Let me go to Zillow. Let me go to run some comps. Let me look at the numbers. Lo and behold, Zillow says my house is worth $1.3 million. I checked a couple other sites and they were all around the same thing, between 1.3 and 1.35. The old house. I said, what? I said, the town right now is over assessing my property at $250,000. Now, mind you, my tax rate, what is it? 1.86%. So you do the math. Do the math with me. 250,000 times 1.86%. You do the math. Type it in chat if you got the number. The town overassessed my house by $250,000 with a tax rate of 1.86%. That is an extra $4,650 a year that they are overassessing my house. But now I am overpaying my property taxes by $4,650. I said, holy shit. $460, that's an extra almost $400 a month. That if I did not pay attention to this, not the escrow analysis and this, that, and the third, because the escrow analysis and shit like that, it'll tell you, oh, you have a shortage and blah, 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 and you have to pay an extra amount of money, this, that, and the third. But I said, I'm looking at this paper and I just got this damn thing. Like, I checked, it must have came right before the new year. And I said, holy smokes. These fools done lost their damn mind. This is exactly why I still am going through this process. And if you saw my video earlier, a couple months ago, I said I'm removing my taxes from my mortgage. That hopefully should be completed within the next 30 to 45 days or so. But yo, I want my $4,600, 4,650. That can go into my Roth IRA. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing here? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't listen to nothing I say about buying your first home, house hacking, real estate investing, whatever it is, whoever you choose to listen to, fine. But listen to this one thing. Please, for the love of God, if you're going to pay your taxes in your mortgage payment, make sure you are looking at the assessment letters that the county is sending you directly, because although the mortgage is going to pay it, you are still legally responsible, and they still have to disclose to you what that payment is going to be and what that tax bill is. So now, and to answer your question, Denise, you said, can you protest the taxes? Yes, it's not protest, it's called grieve your taxes. Everybody type in chat, grieve your taxes. Grieve your taxes. Now I have to grieve my taxes and go through that process. Either I'm going to do it on my own, or I'm going to hire a company to do it for me, in which 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to wind up hiring somebody and pay them 10% or 15% or whatever they're going to charge me of the money that they save me. So that way I don't sit here and pull the little bit of hair that I have left. And I'm trying to grow my hair out a little bit because, I don't know how much longer I got it for. Right. But pull a little bit of hair that I have out, so that way I can appeal. It's appealing. So it's the same thing as appealing. So appealing or grieving your taxes. Right. Same thing. Okay. Grieve your damn taxes. Pay attention when the town sends you these letters, y'all. Don't just think, oh, I make my mortgage payment and I pay my mortgage and my taxes is included in the mortgage payment. And then you get the escrow analysis, and then you sitting here like, oh my God, my property taxes went up and my mortgage payment went up. And I don't know why my payment keeps going up every year. You don't know if the town is overcharging you. And what I come to discover based off all the research that I've personally done, these fools are overcharging me by $250,000 in value. They're no, let me re-say that. These fools have overvalued my house by $250,000, which in turn raised my taxes. My taxes shouldn't be $28,500. My taxes should be 24,000 or a little bit less. So I'm being overcharged. So I say that, and yes, I live in the blue states. I live in New York. Okay. And I ain't moving New York. I don't care about the blue and the red shit. I'm New York. Where my Yankee fitted at? I'm Yankee blue. I ain't Democrat blue. I'm Yankee blue. New York, baby. So, like, if the government wants to do something about home ownership and making things more affordable, there need to be some goddamn laws that's in place. That way, these property taxes don't skyrocket. And not for nothing, I was telling my fiance this too. Shout out to May. I said, babe, when this house is reassessed, it's gonna be damn near double of what they're assessing it at right now. So my property taxes is gonna go all the way up. I'm probably gonna be well over $40,000 in taxes when this house is reassessed when I have my CO. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. There's why the hell does this town that I live in, why do they need damn near $40,000 for me? And I look, and also when you're looking at this assessment, it breaks down what's going to what your school taxes are, right? Like, where is my tax money going? Because most people don't even know you paying property taxes, but what the fuck are they doing with the money? Like, I'm paying property taxes. What are you doing with the money? It's crazy work. Like, yo, I wish I should have scanned this in so you guys can see this foolishness. But it's like they're putting up my money. One, two, three, four, five. I got a community college tax. Like, what the hell is that? Okay, police, fine. Out of county tuition tax. What the fuck is that? Highway tax. Okay. Like, what is all of this crap? Okay, fire, cool. But like, what the hell? What the hell? Right? Somebody said funded Somalia daycare. Yo, so that's my 13-minute rant about property taxes. Like, check the mail, y'all. Check the mail. Do yourself a favor. Check the mail, please, and grieve your taxes. If you feel like they overvalued your house, check, grieve it. And don't forget you pay those taxes regardless of your if you're using a school district or not. That's a fact. That's a fact, Ron. That's a fact. You can send your kids to private school and you still got to pay school. Like my school taxes. Now, mind you, I have one of the top school districts in the country, but that shit $18,000. $18,000 of that is going to the school. That is nuts. What if I fucking, like Ron just said, I put my kids in private school? I still got to pay for these damn schools. You should be able to say, yo, I'm in private school. Here's the proof that we have private school tuition. We're not going to your public schools. Don't charge me for this. Right? Like, how are you charging me for something that I'm probably not even going to use? If I choose not to, what if I don't? Like Ron said, that is a good damn point, Ron. What if I don't use your public schools? Why do I still have to pay school taxes? What if I homeschool? Why do I have to pay school taxes for? So these are questions like if Trump wants to make homes affordable, figure out this property tax scam that we all, as owners of real estate, have to deal with. Right? Like it's crazy. Right? Y- And I get it. Moms get money. I get it. You're gonna pay anyway. That's how the system works. Everybody pays, only few benefit. I get it. But is it right? Is the system right? Hell no. The system is flawed. The system is flawed. So I think if they really want to, if Congress really wants to do something, y'all need to figure out this property tax situation in America because as homes continue to increase, people are not going to be able to afford, especially here in New York, Long Island, high cost states, DC, LA. I mean, look, even in states like Texas, where the taxes are absolutely astronomical, it don't matter if you buy a fucking 600, $700,000 house. If you got 25,000 in taxes, like that, that's gonna push your payment, your housing expense through the roof. That's what needs to be fixed here. Right. So that's my TED talk for night, man. We've been on here for 40 minutes. Happy New Year to everybody. Right? Happy New Year. Rants and Gems, baby. Download us on all podcasts, audio outlets. And do remember that 5-day rehab mastery boot camp. It starts Monday, January 12th to January 16th, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Learn how to buy, fix up, or renovate it with the bank's money and build wealth from day one. Okay. Buying a home in this market, it feels damn near impossible for a lot of you. The prices are up, rates are up. Every house looks halfway decent. It gets 20 offers in 24 hours. But I'm telling you, if you learn how to buy right and buy fixer uppers and renovate, this is how you're going to make money, right? So we got 5 days, 10 hours, one playbook to build your seven-figure real estate portfolio. January 12th to 16th, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Right. Shout out to everybody who's on the VIP and the platinum VIP. Make sure you guys go to mgbootcamp.com. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If you are part of my inner circle mentorship group, you do not have to register. I actually put day one Zoom link in the community today. Okay. So go to mgbootcamp.com or click the link right there. General admission is free. General admission, you only have access to the first hour. You don't have access to the second hour, and you don't have access to the recording. So, although general admission is free, it's very limited. Okay, you don't get access to no replays. You only get 1 hour. You don't get the full 2 hours. So, if you want to retain this information, you definitely need to be VIP or platinum VIP. Go to mgbootcamp.com. Shout out to Candy Rose Gold. Looking forward to seeing you in the boot camp as well. Um, they want too much money for the trash as houses. Well, that's why you need to know how to negotiate. Look, some of my inner circle mentees, I put it here on YouTube. This is one of the first times, not really, because I saw my MG property spotlight like 4 years ago. I did a video with one of my other mentees, and they made a lot of money off of 2 or 3K. But shout out to Natasha, one of my mentees. It's on my YouTube. Just go to my live replays. You'll see. She made 200. She got $230,000 in equity on her first deal, and I literally have about 10 of my mentees right now who are actively putting in offers right now. We're negotiating heavy. They're doing rehabs anywhere from 75,000 to 200,000, all financed into their mortgage. They're only putting down 3.5 to 5% down payment, and every single last one of my mentees are forcing appreciation by six figures, right? 100 to 300,000 respectively. All right. So shout out to all my mentees who are following the blueprint and following the system, right? And building wealth the right way. They're house hacking and building equity at the same time. Wow, the majority of you are going out here buying homes above asking, at asking price, because you don't have the right leadership. Okay. So mgbootcamp.com, register today. It starts Monday. If you are VIP or platinum VIP, you will get the Zoom link for day one sent to you probably Sunday, 24 hours prior to. And have your pen and pad ready, man, because we're going to have a great 5 days. And if you've been a part of any of my classes, you know, if I say it's going to be 2 hours of information, hell, we might go for 3 hours. We might go for 4 hours. Who fucking knows? Right. So be prepared for a long night, because once I get going, I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. All right. mgbootcamp.com. The Rehab Mastery Bootcamp starts Monday. All right. That's all I got for y'all. Hit the bell for notifications. If this is your first time here, welcome to my world and welcome to the dark side, baby, where we talk real estate, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, if you're new to me, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, but I'm better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. I've been in the mortgage business for 23 years this year. Right. I funded well over $1 billion, damn near $2 billion, but I stopped counting. Right. I've helped thousands of people buy their first home, second home, investment properties, commercial properties, rehab, fix and flip, new construction, construction loans, construction of permanent, hard money, DSCRs, P&Ls, self-employed with entrepreneurs. I mean, you name it. There's not a loan that I can't close. And if I can't close it, then nobody can. All right. So if you are looking to learn about real estate, this is a free resource for all, right? This is a free resource to all. Shout out to Tiara. She said, "You are the reason why I purchased my home. I appreciate that." And she called me a gem. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you get value out of from my channel, right? This is a free resource. It costs you nothing, but it costs you time and it costs you to pay attention. If you pay attention for free, you're gonna make some money. But if you really want to step your game up, you can come over to my community. You can become a mentee or join one of my boot camps. Sometimes I make them free. And if you do have to pay, it's very affordable. Everything that I do is extremely affordable because I don't want you to spend an arm and a leg to be a part of mentorship or communities. I don't follow the trends of like the other people are doing, charging you $50,000, right? To fucking be a part of something and you don't even have contact with them. I am someone that I love speaking to my people and I love helping you. And the best part of all of this, y'all, I can actually close your loans because I'm a licensed mortgage professional, right? So in the description of this video, if you want to work with me and my team to get funding, to get pre-approved, there's going to be a link. You can complete the form and one of my team members will reach out to you. If you want to join my inner circle or my boot camp that's happening, the link will be in the description, or you can go to mgbootcamp.com, or you can just watch my YouTube and binge watch and go to the playlist and you'll get a lot of good information for free. Okay. So I'm not just someone who does content. I'm not a content creator. I'm not just somebody who out here talks real estate. I am someone out here who gets shit done. Period, point blank. I will close your loan. And if you're a real estate professional, realtor, and you want to work with me and my team, hit me up as well. All the links will be in the description. Maggie, if you want to be, if anybody's interested in becoming a mentee right now, you don't have to wait till this video uploads. You can DM me on Instagram right now and say, MG, I was just on your YouTube and I'm interested in becoming a mentee, and I'll send you the link directly through there. I respond to people all the time, right? I can't wait to meet you too, right? InvestFest, come meet me at InvestFest. Okay. So yeah, how do we get in? How do we get into the community past due time to step in? Sydney, just DM me, MG the Mortgage Guy on Instagram. Make sure you got the real page. It's been shadow banned for 3 years, so it's 357,000 followers over there for the past 3 years. Thank you, Instagram, for shadow banning me and not pushing me out. But yeah, DM me, and if you want to get a part of the mentorship, come. All right. So that's all I got for y'all, man. Thank you for your time tonight. Love y'all. Hit that like button, smash the like button, share this video if you got value. And again, Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, but I'm better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. Peace.